this point now, we have two horses. One of them is determined to get this, the other one is determined he's not going to. Which one of these two is going to get the grain, is going to keep the grain? It will be the one who is the most determined to get the grain. If it is this horse here that is the most determined and has the most ability to get the grain, the other horse will then have to acknowledge that and get away and honor the right of this horse to have the grain. And they, to determine which one of these two have the right to get this grain, they then go into a challenge interaction thing. Now, depending upon how much effort each of these need to expend to get this grain, determines the amount of noise, so to speak, the energy that is going to be expended. As we said earlier, the one who is the most determined to get this grain is the one who is going to get it. It is also going to be the one that is, because of its actions, because of its ability, will be higher than the other on the pecking order, or the herd dynamic, herd status level. That's why in a group of horses, you will always have one who controls all the other horses. Then you'll have one down below that who controls all the horses below it. And so on, right on down the line, to where you end up with a herd situation. If you have a number of horses, you have this horse, you have this horse, you have this horse, you have this horse, this horse, this horse, this horse, in a ranking, so to speak, in a herd dynamics or pecking order, this horse right here, being at the top of the pecking order, is able to control, to take things away, to take rights from all of these other horses. And same with this horse here. It has the right to take rights from all of these other horses below it. And so on, right on down the line to where you get right down here to the one who is always the one who is being pushed away from the feed, always the one who is being chewed on, who is being directed, who is being shoved away and whatever. And while we as humans say, oh, so sad for this poor horse here, all these other horses are pecking him. In nature, this is, in effect, the best system that promotes peace and harmony in the herd, and it also provides for survival of the fittest. When we have a horse that is the least dominant, this horse still is happy, to use that terminology. This horse still fits in with this herd, because all peace, all comfort, all security is found in the herd. If a horse is not in the herd, it becomes more vulnerable to all of the dangers that are out there in the world. When a horse is out here all by himself and there is no herd for him to be around, this horse cannot sleep very long. This horse cannot eat as often as it can in a herd. It has to be very careful where it's going. Anytime that a predator comes after this horse receives the total attention of any predator. Whereas if this horse is in the pecking order or involved in the herd interactions, it only has to, it's able to sleep more because there are more eyes and ears watching for predators. It is able to put its head down because there are more eyes and ears watching for predators. It's able to eat more. It's able to drink longer. It's able to sleep longer. It's able to do everything because the chore of watching for predators is spread amongst the herd. Plus, let's say that Joe Predator decides that he's going to come after one of the herd, and we've got all of these animals here. If we have just one animal, all he has to do, the predator has to do, is overtake this animal. He becomes the sole responsibility for survival, for his own survival, is here. But when he is in a herd situation, All he has to do is be the second fastest horse in the herd. If he's the second fastest horse in the herd, the predator then gets the slowest one. He doesn't have to outrun the predator, he only has to outrun the weakest member of the herd. And just because his mental state brings him down to the bottom of the pecking order, that does not necessarily mean that physically he is the lowest ranking member of the herd. His mindset may put him here, but his physical status, his ability to run and whatever, may be greater than all of these, including the lead horse. And the lead horse is always in a herd a mare. And I'm talking about a natural herd here, not one that we have altered and whatever, because sometimes geldings can become herd leaders too. But in nature itself, the herd leader is always the mare, a mare. She determines where they're going to graze. She determines how long they're going to eat. She determines any number of things. She determines the threat level of the predator. She decides how far and how fast they're going to run away from any threats. All of that is hers. If you have a herd situation, if you have a herd of horses, you will notice that there is one horse that all of the other horses look to see just how they're going to respond to a threat. You have a horse here that gets spooked and it takes off. And then you have these down below it, it takes off and it gets over here. It looks back to see what the lead horse is doing. If the lead mare is just standing there grazing along, these horses turn and they come back to the herd. They will run only to the point to where they assess what the lead mare is doing. But if the lead mare takes off, all of the other horses will run and will go as far as the lead mare does. She's the one that makes all that determination. Again, all peace, all comfort, all security is found in the herd. So by inserting ourselves into this ranking right here, we are then able to communicate with the horse. We're able to get the horse to do what it is we want it to do easier and faster than we could simply by snatching it out of the pasture and forcing it, so to speak, to do what it is we want. One of the things that I maintain is we don't have to teach a horse to do anything that we want it to do. We don't have to teach the horse to stand, because if we look out there in that field right out there, we'll see that there are horses standing there. You can do that. We don't need to teach a horse to trot. I see them trotting all the time without anybody around them. We don't need to teach them to canter. We don't need to teach them to do anything that we normally and traditionally want them to do. I see them doing rollbacks. I see them jumping over things. I see them, you name it, they're doing it. They're doing it on their own without any help, without any direction for humans. So therefore, we don't have to teach the horses to do that. What we have to do is we have to communicate to the horse that I want you to stand here. I want you to jump over this. I want you to carry this object. I want you to do whatever. Whatever it is you want the horse to do, the chore is communicating